when we can stop trying, which is hoping to goodness, we start trusting that the choices we're making are going to be favourable for us. It absolutely changes our life. Those words that we choose unconsciously keep us limited and keep us there. This creates a whole new energy and a new vibration in the body, in the mind. Really, the breath is our most sacred medicine. From our very first inhale, our very first breath when we were born.
Hello, beautiful questers, and a warm welcome to the OneQuest podcast. We are absolutely delighted to have you with us on this journey of learning and self-discovery.
Whether you're unwinding, seeking a moment of peace, or just indulging in some well-deserved you time, we're here to sprinkle a little joy and a whole lot of inspiration into your day. Our guests are not just mentors in wellness and self-improvement, they are adventurers at heart, dreamers in spirit and storytellers by nature, sharing their unique paths and life lessons. So let's embark on this tapestry of tales together.
Be prepared for moments that move you, narratives that nurture, and reflections that resonate with your own journey. Before we dive in, if you enjoy our show, please subscribe and share. Your support enables us to feature more amazing guests and deliver impactful conversations. Together, we can inspire a billion lives. Please note that some episodes may cover sensitive topics like abuse, mental health struggles, and personal challenges. If you find the content overwhelming, feel free to step back and take care of yourself. Remember, it's okay to pause and return when you're ready.
Hey everybody, how you going today? I'm here with Steph and Tracy Hewson, and we're going to have a bit of a chat today all around breathwork and yoga intelligence. We thought, though, before we started, we might have a chat with Tracy and see whether she'd be happy to do a little drop-in for us just to help us center and get started where we're really sort of coming from the heart and really just, feeling into our bodies. So I might just turn it over to Tracy.
Thank you so much. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you for sharing your time and creating this beautiful space. And I'm humbled and honoured to be here. And to center ourselves, let's just connect our energy. So I'd like you to turn your left hand up and your right hand slightly down. And just closing the eyes, sense a lovely long spine without strain. And just taking a loving breath in. And slowly we'll start to connect our energy, gently receiving from the left and giving from the right. And just forming this beautiful conduit of energy as we settle into this lovely space we've created. Just sense and feel your own loving breath in your body, where you feel the breath the most, perhaps where it feels most predominant to you. Just notice the inhale and the exhale, feeling that beautiful energy in the hands as we give and share our energy. And we'll also take a moment or two just to call back all of our energy into our body, all the parts and the pieces that perhaps have been shared today in your experiences, your daily activities. Just sensing all of your energy coming back in through the crown of your head, settling back into your body, into this space. And just soften the shoulders and soften the loving face, your beautiful heart. We continue to feel the connection. Or perhaps you may notice some sensations in the body without changing them in any way. Just feel into them. They are all information. And take another loving breath in, and let's take this circle up into the ethers. We're rising the energy up into the universe, to beyond space and time as we know it here in this physical plane. And just notice how that feels in the body to connect on this other level, this soul level. And sensing the hands as a connection of the heart. And today we'll invite Ian your lineage, any angels or guides that may like to come and play for this podcast session today. We'll invite them into this space to come take our hands and join us. Just feeling all those beautiful sensations in the body, allowing them to land. And a loving breath in here and gently descend back down to earth, feeling your 2 sitting bones grounded. Take your time. And just notice if there's any part of your body that you can soften just a little bit more. Perhaps your shoulders, your buttocks, your tummy, your jaw. And then resting your left hand upon your heart and your right hand on top of your left hand. Allow yourself to feel into that lovely, stable space of holding space for yourself. And feeling your own heart beating. And once more, just connecting with your beautiful breath. Noticing the inhale and the exhale. And when it feels right for you, to gently open the eyes.
We're just so honoured to have you here today. You're just an exceptional life alchemist who combines breathwork and yoga and mindfulness to illuminate the path to self-awareness and resilience. As a dedicated yoga teacher, breathwork trainer, and empowerment coach, she's passionate about helping individuals break free from limiting narratives to discover their authentic selves. With her holistic approach, Tracy empowers her students to embrace genuine freedom and transformation, inspiring a journey of self-discovery and profound self-growth. It feels like that's not enough to really sum you up, Tracy.
Thank you.
I've been lucky enough to be working with you for a little while now, and it's been a really exciting time for me to explore, especially in breath work with you. What we're really interested to start with is what your passion project is at the moment. Like, what are you diving into and what's sort of really lighting you up?
So at the moment, my passion is all about guiding people to live their life experiences in a much more awake and aware way, to trust their own intuition and to really feel into their beautiful breath and what it's telling them in each and every moment, really. So when we feel into what the body is telling us, it always brings us into the present moment. And that's really what life's all about, is present moment awareness. So really, the breath is our most sacred medicine. From our very first inhale, our very first breath when we were born, which is like the portal of life, to our very last breath or our last exhale, which welcomes our transcendence. So it's our gateway to existence and our most constant companion as we journey through life. And it carries with it every thought, every feeling, every emotion, every knowing that has created our blueprint or our human experience, or what I call, or what we call in breathwork, our birth imprint. So everyone's life is improved from understanding the profound healing of the breath. So that's what I'm passionate about at the moment, is sharing that message, because it is quite profound the deeper we look. And at the moment, the project I'm working on is a very enlightening breathwork course, and it's called Inner Awakening Mastery, or I Am. And of course, it all is about I am. And we often ask ourselves the question, who am I? So this course has recently been endorsed by the Australian Breathwork Association, or the ABA, which I am a professional member of. it's been certified so that I can now, as a trainer, teach people how to become facilitators in this amazing healing and therapeutic modality. So I started this course just this weekend gone, and the feedback was really amazing. I had many aha moments. And if you'd like, I can share a couple of bits and snippets that people said.
It'd be wonderful.
Absolutely. I'd love to hear some. And it's one question that I've definitely had is, what is it? Is there an industry benchmark? You've had your course approved and accredited, but is there an industry benchmark where a breathwork facilitator submits their course, and it might be different to the next breathwork facilitator, but the association is still approving it? Or is there some consistency across these courses so everyone's getting the same teachings and outcomes?
Yeah, so the wonderful thing is that there is a standard that you have to abide by to get the course endorsed. This took 12 months for me to get this course endorsed. Firstly, I had to become a trainer, so that's over 1,000 hours worth of study.
Wow.
And then it was even longer, I think, than my university degree in Bachelor of Medical Science.
Wow.
Yeah, so you mentioned before a facilitator. You actually have to become a one-to-one facilitator, then a group facilitator, and then a trainer before you can even write your own course and submit it for their consideration of endorsement and certification. So it is a long and rigorous process, which is a good thing, because that means that you have to tick a lot of boxes, you have to jump through a lot of hoops, and the wait is worth it though, because it also means that there is a standard, and it remains a high standard, especially under the Australian Breathwork Association, so that we can maintain that professionalism throughout.
That's great. I love it. That's my concern coming from an education background, the quality of the product. And I hear people raising their concerns that you said these pop-up breathwork people who are wanting to help others, which is amazing. But whether or not they've had the right teachings and learnings, and what is it that student might walk away with. So thank you for sharing some of that info about the industry, and that there's some really nice high standards.
Oh, absolutely.
And please share some of your experience from the weekend as well.
Yeah, so one of my students shared, with consent, of course, since my soul retrieval. So we had a soul retrieval weekend where we retrieved part of our soul that had possibly fractured off during a traumatic event in life. And she said, since my soul retrieval, I've had a few memories or knowings come to me from my car accident, memories with zero emotion attached to them. My specialist told me I would never have memories of the accident return because of my brain injury. Wow.
So
wow. She's starting to get memories from that time, and that was her second breathwork session. So the course is really starting well. Another student shared, I feel we were beginning with sheer brilliance to start our inner awakening mastery journey. Loved it and love our small group. We're very lucky to share in our experience amongst us, in your experience amongst us. And one more I'll just share. She said, wow, 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 you are a genius. We are out of the block so quickly, and I'm loving where we are traveling to. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all you have shared. Pure magic.
It's beautiful, Tracy.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so that's very humbling, and that's all those years of work and really allowing that to sort of speak out through my purpose and passion is worth it when you get feedback and comments like that.
Katya and I were just recently discussing the integration of these different modalities, and is that what you're doing with your breathwork course as well? Is there much of your learnings from other areas and modalities that's been integrated to make it more unique, or are you sticking to just the breathwork space and learning?
Absolutely. So really, once I started learning breathwork was in 2020. It naturally just sort of dovetailed in with my yoga teaching, because it just has to. It becomes part of you. You embody it as you learn. And then obviously the words that you speak are up-leveled, and everything just sort of marries in nicely. So it's almost like learning breath work and integrating it into the yoga side of things. It just up-levels everything. So we just continue to raise our vibration to the highest vibration in the room, no matter who's in it. And that is really the essence of the metaphysical principles of breath work. And I have found it quite easy to interweave all of those principles within the yoga space as well. So no one misses out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I know that's something in the sessions I've had with you that has been really profound, is how you teach the importance of the way you structure your words and the power that's behind those. I find it a really fascinating topic, and the more I learn about it and the more aware I become, the more I'm able to sort of really think about how I say things, how I express myself as well, in a way that is creative and uplifting and heart-centered, and sort of removing some of that more negative and more aggressive kind of language that, in society where we think is normal, but it's really not. I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that, because it's just one of my most favorite topics at the moment.
With pleasure. So absolutely, your word is your wand. And a lot of people don't realize that they are speaking in a manner that is actually not adding to them being here for very long. In breathwork, we call it their life urge. So I work from a beautiful ideal of living above or below the line. So if you can imagine, there's a line across the page, and everything above the line is positive words that you would choose to say rather than something negative. So when we live in that space above the line, we are choosing mindful, thoughtful, compassionate, kind words, not only to others, to ourselves as well. And when we make that a new habit, it absolutely changes our life. When we tend to live below the line, so to speak, it's all those words that are fear-based, around depression, around anxiety. And so those words that we choose unconsciously below the line keep us limited and keep us there for a time until we choose that it's not going to be favorable for us. So then we start to choose above the line words, and this creates a whole new energy and a new vibration in the body, in the mind, and it takes you to a completely different place once you make this your new way. So really choosing wisely with every word that you say. And as a teacher, it's almost, I hear something and I always offer the person talking to me to consider another way of saying it. And so we have quite a lot of fun within the breathwork room with considering choosing the other. And what that's doing is it's just reminding them that they just, for this moment in time, step below the line. And after a while, none of that happens because they just get used to it. They practice it in their daily experiences. And I find after time that this becomes their new normal, and their whole vibration has changed as a result of choosing words and living above the line.
So as an example, sometimes I hear people say, I can't get up in the morning, as in they want to get up and have a healthy lifestyle or a healthy routine or start, doing some yoga or meditation, but they say, I can't get up. So they're telling themselves, they're creating the narrative, and they're living exactly what they said. Is that what you mean by words below the line? If it's touching, it's that can't word. If they said, oh, I can, then it changes everything, right? I can get up, and they start to believe that they can, and they would.
Absolutely. So even rather than I can, choosing a word like I choose to get up in the morning, I choose to go to work, rather than I should, could, or have to.
Yep.
And then when they align themselves with oh, I choose to do this, then it's been a choice of theirs. So then they feel good about it because they've chosen it, rather than living in that can't and that negative narrative. Then it completely changes your energy for the day. It completely changes everything around you. Your energy just naturally vibrates at a higher level. And the more we practice it, and it then becomes who we really are. And moving forward with that ripple effect out to others that you speak to and are in contact with is enormous. It's limitless.
Tracy, I'm going to throw Catherine under the bus here a little bit. We were having a chat about words and how we use them recently, and she came up with what about I choose? That's a really good one. So I think she stole it from you and then brought her wonderful wisdom into the conversation. But it's something that we love talking about as well. So thank you for sharing all that experience with us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's a fascinating topic, and it's something I've learned so much about from you. And it's something that I can just continually to play with and refine and kind of just notice. It's until you're aware, you may as well be asleep, really. It's quite amazing how, as you start having that awareness, everything just starts to curb and change, and you start thinking about things differently. So it's certainly one of those things that really sort of changes over time, but that is very life-changing in so many ways. I mean, often we struggle with things, and it's hard to put that into words, and also to put it into words in a way that's still positive. So, when we come up against uncertainty and doubt, it can still be quite difficult to try and sort of rewrite the way we think about things, and think about things in a positive way, even when we're hurting or we've suffered a lot of trauma. Is there anything that you try and do when you're in that kind of realm, Tracy, where you're sort of struggling with self-doubt or uncertainty, ways that you can kind of prop yourself up using different language, for example? Is that something that you tend to do?
Yeah, of course. And even when you're saying trying,
Yes.
trying is the essence of hoping to goodness that you can do it. So rather than trying, I just challenge myself. And the best way to for those people who are sort of sitting in that struggle street is to start to be aware that, first of all, you're there. Take responsibility that you've chosen to be there for now, for this moment in time. And then how is it that we can step out of this and look at things like what's happening in the struggle arena as a gift? So when we can stop trying, which is hoping to goodness, we start trusting that the choices we're making are going to be favorable for us. And when we step into that arena and out of the struggle street, it gives us that sense of, I've taken responsibility of this, and now I'm going to put a positive flair on it, and I'm going to work towards creating this new positive outlook. So the best way I can share is that to see these things as a gift, because they're showing up in your life for a reason. If they weren't there, then you wouldn't know that there's this gift for us to work on and that bring changes and different choices around those struggles or that learning curve. So those struggles I would call challenges, yet I would also call them a gift.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful way to reframe things. And I mean, really, you've taught me a lot about how I look at past struggles and things that have happened to me, and really sort of reframe it to say that it's not happened to me. It's something that I've chosen, and that, like you said, it's really it's been there to be instrumental in changing the way I see things and really up-leveling, and my opportunity to step in and up-level, because, I mean, there's no growth without challenge.
That's it.
So that's something that's been wonderful to learn through you. And I know you've heard a lot over the last few months about some of my challenges, but are there things that you felt that you really sort of had to overcome on your journey to become a breathwork practitioner? Is there some things that stand out to you that sort of really pushed you down this path?
Well, I guess my biggest challenges were more around that COVID time when I was creating my Yoga Intelligence Masterclass course, and I wasn't used to being on camera, and I had to really dig deep within myself to create something that I was proud of, that a lot went into, and that genuinely reflected what I was learning at the time and how I interwove that. So with the breathwork side of things, it sort of just unfolded quite naturally. And while everybody was sort of in their quiet zone, living online or living a quiet life through the COVID time, I was busy studying then, and it all unfolded in really nice timing. So I didn't sort of find that too challenging. It was more, I guess, that change from teaching face-to-face in a yoga arena, and then suddenly I had to quickly learn some IT skills in a hurry, as did every other yoga teacher, and many other business leaders had to do the same. Yet to me, that was the catalyst for change. It was like, wow, I can record these classes that I'm teaching live online, and that really has formed a whole another layer and level of what I ever even imagined was possible up until then. So yeah, I think that's probably the challenges that I've overcome. Are just, I'm so used to being in a creative space and creating beautiful yoga classes and courses and nurturing people. And then when you can't be face to face, there's still a very amazing way you can still share your energy, even like this, through a screen. So it's quite amazing how you can change that up, really.
Absolutely. And Tracy, because I speak to a lot of coaches, and that's a common piece of feedback that I get, I'm not comfortable in front of the camera, or they haven't done it before. Was there anything that really helped you just rip the Band-Aid off and get comfortable? Because I've been there. I think Catherine could say that she's experienced something similar. For me, it was nerves. I was, worried about judgment. I was feeling a bit insecure, whatever it is. But I just had to start and practice until it just got a little bit more natural to just turn the camera on and do it.
Yeah.
Was there something that you did?
Yeah, I think it just it just became second nature after teaching, a few times a week in an online forum. And then I soon learned that, I could record these. And so it was just a natural progression. And because we were sort of in that time for quite some time, it was like ripping the Band-Aid off and just enjoying it. And, prior to teaching online, I used to have a lot of notes and write a lot of my classes out. And that time taught me that I actually didn't need those notes anymore. So it really was great for me. I didn't have to feel that I needed to read or refer to anything. I was just able to then share my knowledge freely, really trust myself, trust my intuition, trust what was coming through me. And I really feel that the study of breath work really assisted me in that marriage of those two things happening all at once. And then once we came back to a face-to-face arena, those notes never came back. So it was really a great time for me to be able to just trust that there's a reason for this. This is showing up in my life and many others for a reason. And I just see that time as the biggest gift that we all had, should we have chosen that as a gift. Yeah.
Definitely. And I mean, it's an absolute testament to the work that you put in at that time, because your yoga intelligence course is spectacular. It is such a full and beautiful course, and I've been really loving looking through those classes. Tell us a little bit about how that came about, because the spine is a big topic to cover, and there's so much that's involved. And I love the way that you really take, sort of the whole embodiment of our lives, our emotions, and our mental well-being as well, all coming from that balance of the spine.
Mm. Well, as you know, if we don't have a spine, we wouldn't be standing. We wouldn't really have a body that was upright. So, and of course, with all of the chakras in yoga, it's a beautiful, juicy topic. So, and something was calling me to write a course about the spine, and it just kind of started to unfold again during that COVID time. It just unfolded beautifully, and I thought, oh, I can start teaching and writing a course all about the spine that aligns with yoga. So then I started to work out how it is that we can structure every single vertebrae and work yoga around that, plus the metaphysical principles. A lot of breath work as well is interwoven in there, and it just unfolded into this amazing long journey. Yet we have a lot of vertebrae. So the course naturally starts at the tailbone, which is the base of the spine, and then as you uncover the different areas of the spine, every single vertebrae has a positive intention that you can set just for that vertebrae. So it's like a new thought form. So we were talking before about changing your words up to be new and positive thoughts. Well, every single vertebrae has a positive thought form. And so a lot of the meditations that I teach around every single one of those spinal vertebrae has this interweaving of this positive thought form, which is metaphysical, yet which is beyond the physical. And it also marries in beautifully with the yoga teachings, the meditation. And of course, I do a lot of breath work or pranayama through it as well. So you really get the full gamut of, it's more than just the poses of yoga, because really this is yoga beyond the poses in a ginormous way. For those who want to really sort of dive in and know a bit more about the chakras, know a bit more about those metaphysical principles and how that all aligns, because it also aligns with other parts of our body. So naturally the lower parts of the spine, they align with the legs and the feet. And then as you get up more towards the navel area, the solar plexus, that all aligns to our internal organs. And then you get to the heart space and all the ribs that are around there. So again, different chakra, different area of the body. And then as you move up, it gets more in line with your hands, your fingertips, and then, of course, the head and the eyes and the face. So it really is, there's so much more to every single vertebrae. Once we pull them apart, almost dissect them one by one, and then marry all of that with beautiful teachings of yoga. And a lot of people, if they've got a specific area of their spine that perhaps is working not as well as they would like it to, then they would really align with the those positive thought forms that are within the course. And the other nice thing I decided to do was to add some self-awareness journals. So there's journaling as part of this course as well. So people can download some self-awareness journals where there's an opportunity to draw perhaps a mandala or something that comes to them. They can write. There's questions that I pose so that you can really think about it, which is also part of the integration, part of the healing, part of the journey. And then the other lovely aspect of the course is that I also have downloadable PDFs of everything that's in a nutshell, I call it. So it's in a nutshell about every single vertebrae. So what I've talked about and what I've taught for every single vertebrae, you actually get the written format of that. So you can read over it. And again, you can journal around it or just keep it as a folder, add pictures, make it as big or as little as you like.
And can you reverse engineer what you said before? You would look at a particular vertebrae and understand what that is related to. Can you reverse engineer that just for the people who are new to the wellness journey? If there was something along the lines of not being able to speak your voice, not being comfortable to put your boundaries in place and something like that, can you then reverse engineer that emotion or challenge that you have to a vertebrae as well?
Absolutely, that's exactly right. So when you learn what the more intelligent way of thinking around that vertebrae or the new thought form is, then you can reverse engineer it. So if you're thinking something completely opposite to what I'm teaching around that vertebrae, there's work to do there. So what happens is when you hear the new thought form, if you feel and sense your energy as, oh, that sits nicely, well, naturally, that's already working within you. It's the ones that you hear and you go, oh, that doesn't really align with me at the moment. It's not sitting with me. So therein lies a little bit of work. So it's the ones that don't sit with you as well that are possibly the challenges that are up for hitting for you. So, and most people have a sense of a part of their spine that probably isn't in alignment with the rest of the body. A lot of people have lower back pain. A lot of people have tailbone pain, so they're like sitting on their hurts. Some people with scoliosis and different ailments, some people that were born with those sorts of things. There's so much magic in the words that have been chosen for really uncovering and allowing the student to feel more comfortable in practicing them. And even these new thought forms can become a mantra, especially for those areas that it doesn't feel as easy or as effortless to feel into that new thought form as a mantra. Does that make sense?
Body, yeah, absolutely. The human body just amazes me how it works and how it's all interconnected, and it blows my mind sometimes.
Yes, and can I offer blows my mind? The brain can be quite literal, so I'd offer you to consider a more gentle approach to it. Maybe challenges your mind to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that a lot of people say that, and I go because because, as I said, because the brain is so literal. When someone says it blows my mind, can you imagine your mind blowing up? So we really have to consider carefully. This is the word is your wand in teaching right here. I hear it on the news all the time, and so yeah, it's just about being really, really mindful about those habitual words that we say, because it is in Australia we watch ads on TV and all of those below the line taglines are out there, and they become a habit of what we say and what we do, and some of it doesn't actually lean above the line.
Mm-hmm. So excites my mind.
Yes.
Would that be above the line?
Yes. Much better. Much better.
Okay.
I love it. Yes.
I'll work on that one.
I will accept that one. Tick.
Excellent.
Oh, I love that. That's great. And, a lot of the work that I've done with you, Tracy, has been challenging on the mind. There's been some really amazing experiences where we're almost sort of stepping into quite very spiritual, but almost in that sort of woo-woo side a little bit. You must have seen some amazing things on the mat and had some, really profound experiences. And I know your students will have felt the same thing. Are there some particularly amazing experiences that you've had in this kind of realm where maybe outside of what we would say is normal?
Absolutely. I've had many spiritual and woo-woo experiences, and the breath continues to inspire me and it keeps me in awe. And I never take anything for granted anymore, because it just is what it is. I have many students and clients that awaken their channeling abilities through me and through their own breath. It's almost, it's very amazing to witness, and it's very profound as well. And this happens time and time again. It's almost as if our two energies meeting, there's a conduit, and there's like a bridge that allows them to sort of go there into that sacred space. I've also been witness to many past life briefs, and I have one really insightful one recently from a gorgeous client who delved into a past life under my guidance, and she kept getting burnt at the stake. And she kept getting burnt at the stake in a past life for speaking her truth in a lifetime that was centuries ago. And the most interesting thing was this breather, she would get burnt at the stake and go to the heavens. And then within moments, she would return back to her family in this era, and she would resume life as if nothing happened. So in that lifetime, this client was very open to speaking her truth. And it was for the betterment of the community that she was living in at the time. And she kept facing her death because of this in front of crowds of people who were just like, oh yeah, it's another day. And then she would simply rematerialize as if it were nothing. So this client had many, many lifetimes of being what we call physically immortal. And now, if that isn't up there with woo-woo, then I'm not sure what is.
That's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, that is one of the outstanding, with consent, beautiful woo-woo stories that I would share. Yeah.
That sounds amazing. And I know breathwork used to be called rebirthing.
It did.
And that's really where it came from. And having those rebirthing experiences, what's involved in a rebirthing? Because you mentioned also past lives. So that's somewhere that you can sort of travel as such when you are in a breathe. How does the rebirthing work?
So rebirthing is what breathwork used to be called. So, and over time, I think that was too woo-woo for the community out there. And so, as a global change, the powers to be in the breathwork arena decided that they would just call it breathwork. So, and under that banner, there's a lot of different styles, and rebirthing is one of them. So, rebirthing it really just encompasses what breathwork is today, and it's under another banner. So people are more comfortable with the word breathwork than they were with the word rebirthing. So a breathwork session is a rebirth, so to speak, because you come in as one person and you leave as another. It's a little bit like being on the yoga mat, same thing. You come in with an energy and you leave with another, more positive energy, because you've done the work. And a breathwork session is similar. So there's a rebirthing in that.
It's
in my limited experience, Catherine and I went on retreat, and we went through a breathwork session. And at the end, there was an opportunity for us to share anything that we experienced during that. Is that similar to what you're doing with your students, either while you're instructing them to be teachers or while you're running a session? Is it them more so sharing what that experience was for them?
Absolutely. So we always have a share after for those who choose to share. And this is a learning in itself, because everything that happens in a room full of breathers, if you have a group, what we're doing is we're going for the highest vibration in the room that day. And so to share the experience afterwards, everybody learns from that. And so I always offer sharing for those who like to, and most people love to share, because again, they remain in awe of the breath and the breathwork experience. So that is a lovely part of it, is just to share the experience, to learn from it, and to have some more aha moments. And the other thing about that too is that whatever's in the room on that day, is meant to be there. Whatever happens, whether it's amazing weather or whether we hear birds outside or whether we have someone channeling on the mat, all of that is absolutely meant to be in the room. When we awaken out of the breathwork session and we do share, it's almost like the reason we can learn from each other is that what is in your current experience, you are reflecting that. So it's like looking in a mirror. So whatever somebody else says, you can learn from it if you're awake and aware, and you can really hear what they're saying, feel what they're feeling, and sense what they're sensing. So we can absolutely learn from those experiences, if that makes sense. So we can take that on board and go, oh, what did I learn from what that person shared? Because it's in my life. It happened in my experience today. And we can take a leaf out of their book, and we can work out how it is that we can maybe bring more positive change to ourselves from that learning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's some real magic to having that environment where it's safe to share, and regardless of what happened in that session, if it's a bit foreign, not comfortable, to be able to share that with a group that is there supporting each other. I recently went and did a mental health event, and when we created that space, there's a room full of men who started sharing some pretty full-on deep stuff that they were maybe not willing to share prior. So it does create a wonderful space when it can.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel that the essence is right in what you're saying there is once you've created that sacred space, then I call it a safe playground. Once you've created that and people trust you, and then they start to trust themselves, then all the barriers start to disappear. And once those barriers disappear, then they really do rise up and share and feel comfortable sharing with the others in that space. So I just think it's a beautiful way to teach, to experience and to be a part of. And I also noticed that most of my courses are more than just a one day. They might be over 8 weeks or 10 weeks or even longer. And I just find that people really start to soften into each other, so to speak, as we progress. And by the end of the time that we're together, there's this whole camaraderie, this whole energy that has been raised and gathered all together. And it really is something very special that's created through a group of like-minded souls. Mm.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds fantastic.
I haven't stepped into a group session with you yet, Tracy. It's something that's very enticing. But even just sharing when it's a one-on-one, things like colours and feelings and animals and even, like you said, things that you hear outside the window. The interplay of all of those things that come up for you when you're in a breathe, having that time to sit and talk about it afterwards too, and really diagnose what those things meant. And you've talked to me about things being on the masculine or feminine side, about how pain in different areas of your body relates to different emotional things that we're holding. It's quite a fascinating area of almost sort of diagnosing what's come up and making sense of it when it's not coming through clearly, like a channel, when it's a little bit more sort of hit and miss. The way you can sort of navigate that and bring the story and sort of peel back those layers to reveal the teachings is a really beautiful thing to be part of.
Well, thank you. Yes, it is. And yet it also is the energy of the group that's there. Yes, I am a holder of space, yet it also takes a few to play. And those who are courageous and willing always leave the mat more enlightened, more up-leveled or uplifted. And I guess that's the beauty or the power of group work. Mm.
Mm,
Mm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's been so wonderful to hear about this today. I've really, really enjoyed our conversation. You did mention that there was something you wanted to leave us with.
Mhm.
Before we did that, though, I wanted to just check in and see if there was anything else that you wanted to share before we finished up today.
Yeah, I wanted to share a little mantra that's been on my mind these days. I have many, like thought is creative, because we've been talking about thought.
Yes.
Also, that every happening is the right happening. So everything that happens to you is right for you at the moment. Yet what I've been working with my Inner Awakening Mastery course is everything you feel is information. So really take some time in your day just to even close your eyes and feel into the breath, or feel into your heartbeat. And the more we can bring our awareness into our physical body, that's where all the information is. So a lot of the time we're so busy rushing around, doing bits and pieces and filling our lives with things. We actually forget to feel how we're feeling. And that's where all the emotional trauma is stored, is in our emotional body. And so a lovely mantra you could take on board is everything you feel is information. So you might feel something in your big toe, you might feel something in your left shoulder. And all of that is telling you something about how your life is right now. So the more we can feel into the body, the more we can be awake and aware to our environment, what's going on, and see these feelings as a gift. What are they showing us? And the more we delve into that, we can breathe around it, or meditate around it, or just feel into it without changing anything. It's just about what is it that you feel. So I really would invite your guests to feel into their body more often, and really notice what's going on in the body, because there is so much information there just waiting to be integrated. And as we get more intimate with feeling our own bodies and the sensations in our own body, the more opportunity we can start to integrate the unintegrated aspects of what's held in the emotional body.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
So profound.
It makes me feel a little bit sad that some people haven't discovered this path yet. You know, that so many people might be missing out on the opportunity to just enhance their life and live their best life, however you want to say it. Live a life that is more fulfilled, live a life of happiness, connection, all that sort of thing. So that was really nice. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it's something we've forgotten about, and breathwork allows us to remember what we already know. We already know all of this. It's just giving yourself the time and the opportunity to remember what we already know innately, what we were born with. Our authentic self is really vying for attention. And when we can give ourselves that attention of feeling into the body, it allows our emotional body to mature. And within that, we have more of an opening or a pathway to a connection to spirit.
It's beautiful, Tracy. And did you want to finish up with a little breathe?
Absolutely, I would love to. So just taking a comfortable seat, however that feels for you, and just closing the eyes or taking a nice soft gaze, just resting the hands wherever feels comfortable. Taking a loving breath in, and just allowing ourselves to get out of our heads and get into our feeling body, to the center of ourselves, to just bring us inwards. So just do whatever feels nourishing and really supportive for you in this moment as you connect into this space, as we gently start to notice the breath. without necessarily doing anything with it. We're just noticing. Is it shallow? Or perhaps elongated? Or maybe even a bit of both? And perhaps it's a melding of the two. Just noticing your physical structure. Notice if your shoulders are feeling a little tense. Or you may notice certain parts of you that feel really at ease, really present. And you may notice parts of you that feel a little bit wound up. And without doing anything about this, we're just noticing yourself in this moment. And again, just calling all the parts and pieces of you that are needed here in this moment, in this space, so you can feel your own energy fully in your body. And in your mind's eye, greeting it with your arms and your energy wide open to welcome it home. Home to you. Home to your heart. And we are just going to ask any energy or conditioning or programming that doesn't need to be here now to leave this space. So you may notice something happening, or you may notice how you were before this invitation. You may notice nothing, and that's okay, that's perfect. I'll invite you now to take a big breath in, a loving breath through the nose, filling up your lungs, your diaphragm, and allowing a soft and gentle exhalation. I'm just doing that 2 more times, breathing in, filling the lungs up to your heart, and a surrendering breath out. And just 1 more like that as you breathe in, lovely, generous in-breath. Now letting go, or surrendering exhalation when you're ready. And notice anything that you may want to put down or leave out of this space that you can pick up once again upon completion of this session. If there's anything on your mind or in your heart or in your body or in your energy that you would like to perhaps just put down for now. A sense of, I don't need to take this through this experience. And slowly and mindfully scanning your body, just up and down a few times, without any intention, just scanning to see what you feel or sense or know. I invite you now to bring your awareness to sense, feel, or visualize a part of your physical form or your energetic body that you can see or connect to. Your own light, your own energy, however you choose to do that. And just allow that to occur effortlessly. It might be one cell, it might be one spark. It's still something. And now notice the places where you can feel or sense or know or see that perhaps there is nothing there. It's vacant or void, or however you see that. Notice how you feel as you are doing this. The opportunity is to notice the sensations from the inside out. And notice any thoughts or images that may come to mind. And now take a moment to notice your breath again. It's all information. Now, can you see or feel or know of the side of your body that is flowing really seamlessly? And then notice the side of you that may be happening, yet not as effortlessly as the other side. And perhaps there's not really anything there, and that's okay. So gently now, I invite you to place your hands upon your heart and feel what it would feel like to allow your energy to go to those places that felt a little vacant or void. Allowing the energy to hum throughout the body, sharing your energy into the void, into those vacancies. Very gently check in with your body in general, checking in with your beautiful energy. And notice if you can feel the energy on your right side. Remember, it's all information. And notice if you can feel the energy on your left side. Notice any feelings or sensations or energy now at the front of the body. And noticing the energy at the back of the body. And I now invite you to bring out one ball of energy, one piece of light, and ask it or guide it to come around to the front of your body, to sit parallel to your heart, if it feels safe and is aligned for you to do so. Feel or sense the feedback from that vibration reverberate through your body. This is your own exploration, just your way. And being aware of your own unique way. And now allow your child self to come to your side, to take your hand, and allow your child self to share in this ball of energy. You may even feel their emotions arise. Perhaps it's a sense of trepidation, or perhaps it's a sense of excitement, of wonder, and a sense of, ooh, we get to do this. Just tuning in, feeling or notice it ripple through your spine, up through your brain stem, into your mind, your brain, your frontal lobe, into your eyes, your entire face, your fingertips, all the way to the soles of your feet, through your blood and your bones and your skin, around your field, clearing your space, just as you did as a child. And now noticing the places that this is received effortlessly. And noticing the places it isn't felt in that way. It might be a little different. Just noticing. And being curious about colours. There may be a significant colour or colours that are coming through for you. Again, it's all information. Allowing the energy and the vibration to filter through. And feeling the warmth and the stability of your own touch, of your hands upon your heart. Feeling the beautiful energy of your own presence. And feeling the beautiful energy you have created for yourself. And feeling, seeing, or sensing your child self, that little one, that little you, basking in this energy. And a sense of appreciation and joy and gratitude for this presence. And saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. And taking a loving breath in through the nose and a surrendering out breath, relaxing, surrendering, letting go. And when you're ready, gently opening your eyes.
Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
It's been a pleasure and a gift. Namaste.
Thank you very
Namaste.
much for your time. And thank you for your sharing. It's been wonderful to learn more about what you do and how you're helping others. And thank you for that.
Thank you so much for inviting me on, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
I'll see you on the mat.
I'll speak to you soon, hopefully.
Absolutely. Thank you.